Okay, so I fell behind. So we got a lot to talk about. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for The Oval. Like I said, I fell behind, so we're going to cover a lot here. But this is season 1, episode 10 and 11. Let's go. I ain't going to play around with it because there was a whole lot to unfold in these two little episodes here. So we start right off. Uma and the First Lady. Child, listen. You know, old girl that jumped out the car and while it was moving, and she's pretty much balled up. Okay, so Yuma and the First Lady are going back and forth because she's telling her, "Listen, get her up and put her ass in the car, or I will." Period. So they go back and forth about that. They finally get her up. They're like, "We ain't calling no ambulance for her. Get her ass in that car. Put her in there." So Gail and Victoria's going back and forth. She tell her, she said, "I hate you." She says, "So does 42% of America, honey. Welcome to my world." I said, "Oh, that Victoria's a whole mess, okay? A whole mess." So then we end up seeing Sam and Donald actually speaking again. And Donald is really dragging his feet. And I don't know why, but he's really dragging his feet about getting Richard his job back. So Sam's kind of pressing on him about getting the job back. And of course, Priscilla's pressing on Sam. So, you know, it's a mess. Shit, Richard ain't had time to be at work no way because Richard running around trying to clean up Barry's goddamn mess. So let's go on over to their house. Speaking of Nancy and the Raccaducci chick, child, that woman, something just didn't seem right about her. She just didn't seem right to me. Something about her is a little left of center, okay? So she's sitting up there, she's telling Nancy, you know, "You're pure and hard and this, that, and the other." And they had this long talk about God and all of this kind of carrying on. And she said, "You know, do you really believe in your God?" And she's like, "Yes, I do. You know, this, that, and the other." She's like, "That's why I was led to you. You know, this, that, thing." I said, "Is she running game? Because you believe in a whole different type of faith. So are you running game, whore?" So I was looking at her. I've been side-eyeing her. But I'm like, yeah, but she's telling her she was led to her and all of that. And you know, it very much could be that. You know what I mean? I get the sense that she feels safe because, like she said, "I came here because I know they won't follow me here, you know, and they wouldn't think that I came here." So maybe, and again, you can be into another religion, or you can be where you don't have religion at all, where you have not made a choice in religion, and God can speak to you. God is he moves funny, as people say. He moves funny. He has a heck of a sense of humor. The God that I know, the one that I serve, he got a heck of a sense of humor. He has a very strange way of moving, and he is all powerful and all knowing. So he can change your mind. When nobody else can change your mind, he can change your mind. So I guess I have to give that to her, and that's why she was led to Nancy, and maybe she saw what we say is the light. So, you know, and nothing against any other religions or anything like that, but this cult, they are doing wrong. I don't know what it is that they're actually practicing because they didn't actually say anything about a specific religion, but I know that she was saying that they don't practice Christianity. I know that. We've gathered that. And they are into wrongdoing. They're into killing. They're into, you know, they ain't into them commandments, honey. They ain't into them. So we know that. But like I said, he's all knowing and he can change things. So that's that. So anyway, but I still got my good eye on her. Anyway, so that's that. Um, yeah, let's move on. Let's go. So Jason has a little run in with Max. And Max, he comes down to the Oval. Of course, Daddy's in there banging out old girl. And Jason's like, "Somebody in there having sex." He gonna say, "Go back to the residence." Yeah, go back to the residence quarters. And he's like, "I don't want to do all that. This, that, and the other." And they're going back and forth. And He ends up calling his mother on the phone and telling her somebody's uh, down having sex. I think in this down in this Oval Office or whatever. Child, next thing we know, I said, "Oh, that Victoria, honey, it's gonna be a mess." So they still on their way, coming, back to the place. He tells Max, "I know you can't leave the door," because Max keeps telling him, "You take yourself and go on back. Do you want me to tell your dad what you're doing?" He's gonna say, "I know you can't leave the door, so I'm going exploring." I said, "Somebody gonna smack you. Oh, he's a mess. He's just as bad as the daughter, really. He really is. He's sneaky with it." But anyway, so we see Richard. Richard's over at this community rally, and this is when we find out that there are cameras, which, like in most projects, there is. There's cameras around, even when people think they don't see it. There are cameras around when you be down there carrying on in the projects. That's why y'all's ass be getting caught. But the camera is grainy, but for the most part, Richard knows that it is Barry's car. So he got to go try to get that all fixed up, child. A mess. So now they get back to Uma and the Secret Service and Victoria and the daughter. They get back to the White House. And they take her and they tell her, take her on up and get her fixed up with her bullshit. And then Uma and the First Lady end up having a run in. And the First Lady says to her, she said, "Don't you look at me." She said, "See, I saw you looking at me through that rear view mirror, and you were looking at me with judgment. And until you have some children that hate you for all the good that you've done for them, don't you dare look at me with judgment. Do you understand?" And Yuma was like, I wasn't judging. She's like, "You're lying. I can see it all over your face. You're lying. I know judgment when I see it, and don't do it again." I said, "Oh." And you can see the tear welling up in Yuma's face and her eyes, and she wanted to kick Victoria's ass. And she thinks Victoria's a monster. She really does. So at this point, you know, they're standing out there. Sam and all of them are out there. And Sam had actually told Yuma, she said, "Go ahead and you go walk that off because I know you're upset. But again, it is what it is. You got to do a job. You've been in battle and everything else. You just go take a walk. Clear your head and everything." So then we see old girl. She walks up by her bedroom. She goes up there, sees her little son sitting out there. She walks in, her little badass suit on, and she gonna take her pumps off, put her tennis shoes on, baby, and she heading on down. She said, "Where is he at?" And he gonna say, "What?" She said, "Just point, boy. Where's he at?" So they point down toward the oval. She gets started, and she gonna say, "Go somewhere." She make her way on down there, baby, and then it's her and Max. Her and Max get to going back and forth. Honey, the president's actually just coming out, and he runs up, and it don't take her long to figure out. She said, "Is she in there? Is that a whore in there?" Okay, so she's trying to get in there. Max is like, "Ma'am, stop it." He said, "Listen, Max, take her." The president tells Max, "Take her back to the quarters, to the residence quarters. And I don't give a damn if you have to drag her by her hair, because if you don't, I will." So he get to counting down and carrying on. I said, "Oh my gosh." Next thing you know, baby, the two of them just break out and get to fighting. Baby, they are getting down, him and her. Fighting. I said, the son is standing there watching. Max is like trying to break them up. And at this point, they're fighting. And at a point, the president just smacked her down and he was getting the best of her. Sam came and broke them up and pushed them out the way. And baby, the president told Sam, "Don't you ever touch me. Don't ever touch me again." And he told Sam, he said, "Who runs shit around here?" And Sam was like, "You do. Do you know who I am?" He says, "Yes, you're the president of the United States." But he wasn't going to tell him, "But you yank it on that woman, honey." But told him, "Who runs shit?" He's like, "You do." And he told him, "Don't you ever put your hands on me again." And he said, when he said, who runs shit, why Victoria gonna say, I do, bitch? I said, oh. And he gonna tell Sam, deal with that. I said, oh, that Victoria's a mess. So before he walks off, the president says to her, he said, what is this, Victoria? What is all this about? I hate you and you hate me. So what is this all about, really? Child, listen. So a mess. So Sam is taking her back up to the quarters. He tells Max, get her out of here. Talking about old girl. So they end up, Max ends up getting caught up in some kind, he was taking her out. He was going to take her out. And no, wait a minute. How did that go? No. I'm sorry. Max ended up going along with the president. No, Max took Victoria back to the quarters. Sam ends up taking the woman, old girl, to get her out. Because Sam was getting ready to give the president a little taste. I said, oh, Sam. Sam was literally going to get him back. He was getting ready to walk her right out the entrance where the paparazzi is at. And they had called in the older staff because of everything that was going on, the senior staff. And Priscilla was standing there and she was like, you can't walk her out that door. And he looking at her like, what? She said, you know good. Well, you can't walk her out that door. She took her, she's trying to give her a hard time, but it wasn't working. She took her back there in the dressing room and made her change her clothes into one of the maid's uniform. She said, trust me, if you walk out that door like that, your life will forever be changed. Trust me. And she ends up, Agent Yuma came and Yuma took her and said, drive her home. And that's how that ended up happening. So she ends up going on out and Yuma's takes her on out. And Priscilla says to Sam, Sam, you knew better than that. And he just kind of was looking. And I said, oh, Sam was getting ready to let the damn president have it, baby. He was going to get back with him right now. Like, who runs shit? Not you. Not you. He was getting ready to get him. I said, oh, I caught that shade, baby. So on the way back, old girl gets to flirting with Yuma. And Yuma tells her, I'm married. She'll say, married? I can't imagine, you don't look like the type. And Yuma's like, the type? Well, what is the type? She said, honey, you like women? Because that's the type you give me, honey. And Yuma was going back and forth with her. She told her, you're lying. You're lying. And you left your wallet on the seat. The bitch ain't nothing but a hood. She's a hood rat. She had then grabbed Yuma's wallet out of her jacket that was on the back seat of the car while Yuma's driving. I said, damn, hood rat. And she's like, I see, there's a picture here, you and your wife, this, that, and the other. She gets to her boutique and puts her out the car, and she will tell her, come on in here. I'm waiting on you. Come on in here. Wanting to get down. I said, she nasty and funky. And Yuma act like she was really tempted to go in there with her. I said, Yuma, really? She just got done lap ratting old nasty ass president for how many hours, ain't took no bath, and you want to go in there with her? Girl, you better go sit down, Yuma. Now, I liked you, but you doing too much. But she didn't go, and she ended up driving on off. She drove off. And the last part of this episode was so disturbing. Kyle and some of the Secret Service guys, they're looking for Gail's phone. They go down, they get the guys that actually raped her. They get 3 of them, or was trying to rape her. Get the 3 of them, and they get Picky. And they take them, and they go into Picky's damn apartment. and is asking like questions and stuff. And Pinky's like, she's my girlfriend, this, that, the other. He gonna say, oh, so you actually, y'all gang raped her, this, that, the other. He's like, no, that didn't happen. She's my girl, this, that, thing, the other. Listen, long story short, Kyle's old raggedy ass ends up getting the phone back from one of the guys, but he literally, assassination style, killed all four of them, Pinky included. A mess. Now that was the end of episode 10. Let's go on to 11. That was disturbing. I didn't like that. Shot them all in the head. Damn bastard. So anyway, it had to be done. So let's go on to episode 11. So Nancy and Richard finally goes home. And he ends up telling Nancy what happened, everything. There's a bullet hole in the car and all of this. And Nancy wants to go to the police. And Richard's like, just let me handle this. We can't do that. We ain't doing that. So they go back and forth, back and forth. Of course, she's doing the Tyler Perry thing. God, no, this is wrong. It's wrong. This, that, and the other. And he told her, he said, well, come on, that's fine. Let's go on to the police. But when we get down there, I'm going to tell the police that I did it. That it was. She said, but you just said that it was Barry that had the gun. He said, but I ain't going to turn my son over. So I'm telling you, when we get down there, I'm going to take the rap for my son. I'm not going to let my son go down for it, period. So then, she's like, okay, so she's pissed off. And he's going to go try to get rid of the car or whatever, I guess. So that's that. So let's go over to Lily and Donald's house. It's morning at this point. Donald's waking up. Lily asking them questions or whatever. He lies to her and tells her that old boy is in jail for life in Cuba. And that's it. And she is pissed. She's pissed because she knows that Donald is lying. And he's like confused. He don't know what the hell her problem is. And she goes on off. And I was like, okay, that's the last we see to her. Thank goodness. We'll get back to that when we get back to it, I guess. Anyway, moving on. So in the morning, Priscilla and the First Lady have a run-in. And the First Lady is treating Priscilla basically the way that Gail be treating her and told Priscilla, you're fake. And I'm sick of your fake face and all of your fake ma'am, I'm sick of it. Like, all you people like robots. And why did the staff change and all of this? And Priscilla told her, she says, listen, we trust all of the staff. And we do like our job. We all know that it's a privilege to actually work here. But the change of staff was because there was things going on that we knew were going on. And we don't speak. We don't see things. We just move on. That's it. We don't talk. And they basically had a meeting of the minds. And she gained a respect for Priscilla and the senior staff. And she realized that they made moves without them saying a word to protect them. And she basically, even being the nasty bitch she is, she appreciated it because she already has an issue. America don't like her. So she understands that. So her and Priscilla had a meeting of the mind, and she told Priscilla, she said, hey, I know I said I didn't want no coffee, but do you mind making me some coffee? Because I don't even know how to make that damn thing work. So her and Priscilla, I think there's a little bit of that was a little, like I said, it was a female meeting of the minds. And it put her mind at ease. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm liking that. Now, listen, Tyler, now you really want to get this shit popping? You can go ahead and make Priscilla and the First Lady get to be friends. That shit would be interesting. Oh, would that be interesting? But anyway, I don't know. That would take some real crafty writing, and you'd have to spend some real good time doing it. But it could definitely be done, and it would be excellent. Again, I got you. You got a check for me? I got you. I could make it happen. Tyler, you listening? Anyway, Moving on. See, I'm patting myself on the back. But listen, like seriously, y'all, that shit would be hot. Like Priscilla and First Lady, especially with the way Priscilla feels about them in general, because she tried to pair herself up with Lily. Priscilla's a much better adversary, I think. If for good or bad. Because I think that Priscilla got something for you, baby, because she shows such restraint. I think Priscilla's character could really be, she could run that damn White House, really. Yeah, her more so than her husband. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let me go. Let me get off my soapbox. But boom, boom, bam it, I'm back. Let's go. Got a lot to cover. Okay, so that's that. So let's see. Victoria and Hunter, the president. I never call him by his name, Hunter. But they end up having this phone call with Victoria's dad, and this was very telling. The dad was giving me very Papa Pope. Okay, I said, Tyler, we're stealing again, aren't we? He is a cheap, cheesy version of Papa Pope, okay? I was like, baby, there's only one Father Pope, honey, and he'll never be duplicated. You understand? Shonda got the lock on that shit right there. But anyway, there's some deep shit with that. That whole thing. He knows everything. Like he knew everything that had gone on. And he got the two of them together. You hear me on that phone? And then when he got off the phone with them, he said, Victoria says to Hunter, we just need to get through these 4 years. We need to get through these 4 years. And he said, we got through 4 years. 4 years as the mayor, 8 years in the somebody else did whatever, through the ranks. It's been like 12 years to get there. And you talk about 4 more years. And he's like exhausted with the whole facade of it all. And she's like, are you stupid? Are you stupid? And then she said, they want the return on the investment in us. So who is they? Who is they? Is that like the Illuminati? Or is that like, who is that? Who is this they? I said, oh, but it's, listen, okay. Child, y'all know what it is. But he's trying to, what Tyler's doing is rolling this like into a scandal thing. You're going to have to do more writing though, Tyler. Because the where you going right now is going to need more explanation for us to know about this they. The they will take this story real deep, but you ain't going to be able to pussyfoot around with it. You're going to have to write this shit. It's going to have to be written the way Shonda wrote it. You can't, because that when we get to talk about the they includes murder, espionage, cleanups, and all that shit. So you're going to have to do some writing, and this skimming over shit ain't going to work. Anyway, again, call me. Let's go. All right, so Barry and Nancy. Barry wakes up. He says, he got to go and get the baby's doll out the car. He goes out there and sees that the car's gone, child. So he comes back in and he's like, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. The girlfriend's like, don't call the police. Wait a minute. Hold on. They stopping him. Because she said, that her boss had actually made a police report. And she's like, she gotta go to work. He was getting all pissed off all over again. Shit, Nancy came in and slapped the shit out of him. She came in and slapped the shit out of him and told him, I'm tired now. That's enough of this bullshit now. You just cut it out. So then Richard ends up coming in. And Richard says, come on, we're going to the police. And I said, okay, all right, whatever that's all about. Which I don't believe them. I believe that they're actually going to a chop shop to get rid of the car. They're either going to get it fixed or get it repainted. They already do something. They either want to do a chop shop and get rid of it, which is too easy to trace, or either just go get that bullet hole fixed in that car. But whatever. Okay, so that's that. And she's like, all right, her mind's at ease. Now, this is the thing that was killing me. The way they just was leaving the Rackadooshi girl around in the house by herself. Y'all done went to bed and everything else with this woman there. I'm like, this is Tyler Perry shit. That ain't working for me. But anyway. And then Richard ain't home. You going to sleep with that woman in your house and y'all upstairs and she downstairs? Nope. Nope. She'd open the door and let everybody in there and kill all y'all's ass. Anyway, Jason and Priscilla have a little chat. And he basically ends up telling Priscilla, my parents have everyone fooled. And he was asking, do you have kids? And she's like, no, I haven't been able to do it. We've tried, but it just hasn't happened. We want a girl and a boy. And she's like, I shouldn't even be having this conversation with you, this, that, and the other. But he basically is kind of made friends with Priscilla. Again, we're evolving Priscilla's character. Tyler, I see you, but I just don't want you to mess this up. I really don't. Anyway, so Victoria ends up having this conversation with the nurse, baby. And the nurse tells her, that Gail is okay. And she's just really in a lot of pain. She's really sore and that kind of thing. She says, good. No pain meds. She said, but ma'am, no pain meds. She gets none. I said, oh, baby, she ends up going in there. She got her pain meds in her hand and her phone. She was saying, oh, I got your phone. She said, well, where'd you get it from? She said, it's okay. I got it, honey. She says, now take and look at watch that last video, honey. She said, see what happens, honey. Ghetto boys sometimes end up in shootouts with Secret Service. And when trained Secret Service men come, it never ends well, honey. She said, is he dead? She said, oh, yes, honey. And she says, why do you have my pain medication? She says, so then, honey, I'll keep these. And that little thing there, honey. See, I'm going to show you what pain really is. I said, oh. Victoria is a mess. She is a mess, honey. See, she knows how to win. I like Gail, girl, you ain't got it for your mama. Your mama got issues, okay? And she got something for your ass. You just need to leave her alone. Anyway, so then we get to this whole thing with Donald and Kyle. The president tells him, he's like, why is Max still on detail? Because it's the next day. He says, where is my guy that I wanted? Donald said, I ain't get a chance to tell him. He said, go and get him and tell him. Max, go take care of Max and do whatever you're going to do with him, but get my guy. He said, and I want to meet with the whole senior staff. So, Donald went and he was talking the bullshit to Max, basically letting him know he'd been fired, but he never got to it because Kyle was coming down the hall. He told Max, go round up the senior staff for a meeting in the Oval. Donald takes Kyle into his office. They get to go back and forth. He asks him, who are you working for? Who are you working for? And he's like, what do you mean? I work for you. And he's going to say, you're good at your job, but I don't know how you pulled this off to get him to want you to be his right-hand man like that. I just don't get it. And he told me, he says, you know what, that's okay. You're a snake. You are a snake. And I'm watching you. And he said, I love it, sir. I love it when you watch me, especially like you did when I was in the shower. I said, oh. Donald was like, what? He gonna say, I know I broke your heart, but trust me, he meant nothing. But for you to go as far as to marry her, he was like, shut up and get out. I said, oh, so wait a minute. So Donald and Kyle, y'all had a whole thing going. Y'all was a whole couple. Like y'all was really getting down. Y'all was tearing it up. I said, oh, I want the background story on this here, Eddie. Tyler, you got some good stuff to work with here. You just got to work with it, but you got some good stuff to work with here. Anyway, so the president and the first lady meet up with the full staff and told them, thank you all for protecting us. We love each other, but, we were having a little lover spat. It is what it is, but we appreciate you all, this, that, thing, and the other. You ain't trying to save face. Because Priscilla actually had told, that was the other thing I forgot to tell y'all when it was in that kitchen. Priscilla told the first lady, you need to put up a whole unified front for the staff. They're going to protect you, but you don't need to let them know all your business. You need to keep them in the dark, you know. And she's like, all right. So Priscilla, when they were like, does anybody have any questions? And Priscilla and saying, see, come on, Priscilla saying, okay, so I got this bitch, and we see in each other. I see you, you see me, we see each other, honey. And Sam been playing around and dragging his feet, and so is the president, honey. She told Priscilla, said, I have a question. She said, what is it, Ann? She said, we love our jobs here, and we could do it really well, but we could do an even better job with our head butler back. And she said, who's the head butler? And she says, Richard. And she's like, oh. And she looked over there at him and said, well, why isn't he back? And that's when the president told her, well, I'll get him back right away. I said, come on through, because Sam was looking at Priscilla like, what the hell? And Donald, look, fuck y'all. Y'all ain't doing that. Y'all dragging y'all feet. Y'all playing. Priscilla got the power. Who runs shit? Priscilla and Victoria. Okay? Come on through. Now that's very much a Tylerism. That the two women, those two black women, would be really in control of what's really going on, and I'm here for it. I am so totally here for it. Anyway, so the very last thing that we see is over at Richard and Nancy's house. They're meeting with old girl. Finally, she gets to talk to Richard. She's going through all of this stuff, and she tells him what she knows. And then she pulls up this picture with her daughter, and she says, I want, I have a couple of kids or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I want my child to be raised. She said, can you record me? So she asked him to record on the phone, and she's recording, and she said, thank you for that last meal. She's like, oh no, I'm dead. They're going to kill me. This, that, and the other. Anybody who leaves, they kill them. They'll find me and they'll kill me and blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, you'll be protected, blah, blah, blah. She's telling her, she's like, no. So she's saying on this recording, while Richard's recording her, that she wants them to raise her daughter. And then she says, Richard's like, oh, no. Everything is going to be fine. We're going to help you to get, to safety and blah, blah, blah. She said, no, not at all. But I appreciate everything. I appreciate the last meal. It was really, really good. This, that, thing, and the other. And the only thing I apologize about is that you're going to have to clean this up, baby. And took a gun out and blew her brains out. I said, well, did you have to do that in their dining room, honey? Did you have to do it in their dining room? Whore! I said, chill. I said, okay, Tyler, that was morbid, and okay. But again, that's that whole cult-like behavior. I get it. But I thought she had seen the light a little bit. Anyway, all right, so that's it, y'all. I'm gone. That was episode 10 and 11. The mid-season finale is coming up this week, and I'll be on time. Thank you all for all your patience. I appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later.